Hey guys, welcome back to Economics and Comics. I'm Bill. This is Joel from Gone with the Twins.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
.com. Check him out at gonewiththetwins.com. Him and his brother Mike have an incredible library of movies that they have critiqued. Is that the word?
Mm-hmm.
Critiqued. Check it out. I'm sure they have one on The Shining. But this is going to be your movie review for Dr. Sleep. Now, I know you guys, this is a comic book channel, but we've been doing this long enough now that, I mean, it's been over a year, Joel.
Yeah.
So I would love for
a lot of movies.
Yeah, I would love for this to be something that you can look forward to in regards to movie reviews. I know there's a lot of guys out there and stuff, but the best part about this is they have me kind of like the normal guy that loves movies and an actual movie critic. So if that appeals to you, please hit that sub button, throw me a like, give us a comment, stuff like that. This one is live. So I hope you guys can hear me in the chat. Can you guys hear me? We'll double check before we begin. We'll take 1 second and see. There's not a lot of people because it's late, but let's see. Hello. All good. We're all good to go. Mark, Wiz, Comic Crazy, everybody in here. Mark's in Australia, so we got a fan in Australia. So they want to hear from the experts, so I guess I'll start. No. Yeah. So what we'll do, this is how we do it usually now, is I'm going to let him kind of briefly tell you about what it's about, and then we'll start bouncing ideas off each other. So Chloe's here as well, and go for it.
So I'm sure you know by now, but if you didn't, Dr. Sleep is the sequel to The Shining, and it's based on Stephen King's novel of the same name that's based on his novel, The Shining. So what's kind of interesting about this movie, before I give the synopsis, I'll kind of let you know that what this director, Flanagan, has done with this is he realizes that a lot of people maybe haven't read both books, but almost everybody's seen the first movie. So with this, with Dr. Sleep, he is sort of kind of taking a little bit of both worlds, and this movie will kind of close up and bring together all the ideas from both the original movie as well as a little bit from the books. So it's fairly faithful to the novel, but also it acknowledges the things that Kubrick did that were not obviously similar to King's original book. And if you've seen the original Shining, or read the book, it's very different from King's actual novel. So this one, they kind of, it starts off, they do a little bit of showing back to when Danny Torrance is a child still, and what after the events of the Overlook Hotel, he's adopted by a different family, or not by different, but he's with the mother. And what am I messing this up?
Well, you already messed up once.
Yeah, they show his childhood and how he is still being haunted by ghosts.
Well, how about I just stop him real fast? This takes place right after The Shining, the beginning of the movie, okay? And it catches up to future.
Yeah.
But, you know, it kind of shows what happens to Danny and his mom after.
Yeah.
A little bit of Danny's life. Okay, go for
it. So after there's the kid, and this is based on the things that happened in the first Shining. There's a ghost character named Tony who continues to visit Danny, and he helps him deal with the fact that Danny is still seeing all of these ghostly apparitions from the Overlook Hotel.
Tony was the cook from The Shining. Mm-hmm. Or no, he was the overtaker, but he was a cook.
I haven't seen the original Shining in like 20 years, so I don't remember exactly what he did in that, but obviously
trust me,
they've done different actors, but it's the same character. And they did that with the mom and with Jack Nicholson's character.
Real quick, I thought it was interesting. Besides Jack Nicholson's character, the mom that plays, was it Penny? Why am I thinking Penny? Any of the mom of Danny and the overtaker that's now a ghost, Tony or whatever, they look very similar.
Oh yeah, they cast
and the acting was funny too, because in The Shining, her character, I wanted to kill her because she was so annoying, and the actress captured that kind of just annoying squealing. Oh, honey, you okay? I kind of like that, but that's not the movie. That's just the beginning.
So after that, so this Tony character is basically coaching Danny on how to deal with these ghosts. So then you flash forward about 8 years, and you see Danny as an adult now, played by Ewan McGregor, and he's sort of kind of an itinerant
30
worker.
years.
Yeah, he's kind
30-year flash ahead.
Oh no, it was 30. Oh, it's 30. Okay, 30 years. Yeah, I'm
movie critic, regular normal guy.
Well, this is what happens when you leave it all up. Yeah, it's 30 years for him, an adult, and they show him as an itinerant worker, basically traveling from town to town, getting into fights, and basically being a sort of a bum. And the 8-year flash forward is after he enters this new town of Fraser, and he is taken in by a guy who kind of helps him out, gets him a place to rent and stay, and he begins working at a hospital, sort of like a hospice place. Yeah, and he's helps people that are about to die, kind of ease their pain a little bit, and that's why he gets the nickname Dr. Sleep. And then there's the 8-year flash forward after that. But
yep.
So the
one real quick thing, after he was a child and he left the Shining mansion or whatever in Colorado, they still chased him. The ghosts were still coming after him, trying to haunt him. Yeah. And the ghost of Tony taught him how to essentially box them up. And so he would find a place in his mind and he would box up the hauntings to the point where he was quieted. Finally, they weren't haunting him anymore. Yeah. And he had entrapped them.
Mm-hmm. And so that you get this 8-year flash forward. And the reason for that is there's a new character that's introduced. Her name is Abra. And she also has a similar ability to what Danny Torrance has. And he calls it the Shining. And it's the special powers to be able to either communicate or see or influence other people and or ghosts.
She had a better grip on the power.
Yeah, she was more powerful. Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say she was more powerful, because I think he didn't understand what he had when he was a kid. Yeah. Had some just sort of like she was able to manipulate it better, and she was a little bit older. She
understands it a little better. She's older too. She doesn't look at it as like a curse or it's not, to her, it's not as much of a haunting really. Whereas to him, it was much more, I think, traumatic. They introduced that Abra character, and you also are introduced to the True Knot, which is kind of like this hippie commune cult of people that feed on others that have this ability.
You know what's interesting?
They sort of suck the soul from.
Yeah, they suck the Shining. Yeah, baby, they suck the Shining out of the people that have Shining. What's interesting though is they also convert powerful Shining. So all of the coven or hippie commune or whatever you want to call it, they're kind of like witches in their own way. They are also people that had the Shining. Did you realize that?
Yeah,
right?
They're targeting specifically those gifted sort of people that have that ability, and they either consume them or some of them they decide to join. Yeah, and what it's doing for these people is it's giving them sort of like a really
life extension,
longevity in life. But they're not immortal. They just are vastly extending their life, and they're staying visually the same age, I guess.
And they don't really talk about how old they are, but you get the idea that they're very old.
It's basically vampires, right? The normal mythos that are surrounding vampires. But and Rose the Hat, played by Rebecca Ferguson, is the leader of this
best part of the movie.
So because Abra is so powerful with her abilities, they can sense that, and she senses them when they're doing nasty deeds and stuff. So they start hunting her, and she has to team up with Ewan McGregor, with Danny Torrance, to see how they can combat this group.
Yes, Mark. The answer is yes, Mark. Mark's answer is if they revisit room 237. And yes.
Yeah. If you've seen the trailer, they definitely go back to the Overlook Hotel. So.
I don't know if we should just kind of do you want to like not say anything more, or do you want to just go into it and give these people the answers?
Well, I gave a pretty detailed synopsis. I don't, unless people really want us to spoil stuff about the end. There's not really any need to. Well, I mean, with that overall, did you enjoy the movie?
Okay, so before I answer that, basically, yeah, like you said, we do sum it up so you don't hear everything. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't give away anything that wasn't in the trailer. So.
No, but there's a connection with Danny and the new Shining girl, and basically they have to fight the bad guys. Okay, and it does end up back at where you would think it would end up, but it's really, and look, I enjoyed it. It was 2.5 hours long. And I got into it. There's something about the movie to me.
Mhm.
And you guys go see it is what I'm going to say. If you like The Shining, go see it. It's a nice second part to it, I think. But you know, the reason I like The Shining so much was more about the music and the feeling you get in the movie. That's such a big part of The Shining was the sound and the music, and it is evident in this movie. The entire movie has sounds. Like, do you hear music
Mhm.
or just weird noises, or even in normal scenes?
Yeah, well,
There's
that
some.
heavy violin is back, and
Yeah,
the
it's.
screeching sounds and things like that.
I really
And
enjoyed that, and
Kubrick's original, what he was trying to do is create this atmosphere of intense dread, and that's
they
what they're
do
doing
that.
with that kind of That's the reason they're doing those sort of things. And this one, I felt like they put a few more of those jump scares in there than because Shining didn't really
I didn't
rely on
get
that at
scared
all.
at all.
Yeah, and it's not. It's hard to say. I think a lot of people will think it's a criticism, but the movie was not very scary to me.
I don't
And
think it was supposed to be.
yeah, it wasn't really designed necessarily to be nonstop, like just terrifying jump scares or anything like that. So overall, I was a little surprised actually. I thought, especially coming off the popularity of things like It, I thought they would go for that nonstop things jumping out at you, nonstop blood and violence, and realistically, that to me, I didn't find the movie that violent. I didn't find it that scary,
Well,
which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
I do like that. It's creepy. Here's what I like about it: it's not your classic horror film. That's why I liked it. It was like a new tale, a new story that breaks off of The Shining a little bit and adds a little witchcraft and cool transcendental whatever. There's a bunch of different stuff in there.
Transdimensional travel.
Yeah, but I liked it because the music, the filming, it's very similar. I mean, of course, they could have gone bigger on some of the effects and scariness, but again, this time and age is not as scary. But I liked the way they did this movie compared to other horror movies. I don't even know if I classify it as horror. Um, I honestly, I really enjoyed it. So the problem is it's a long movie, okay? And the reason is they have to do a reintroduction of Danny, and that's at least half an hour of different flashbacks and different things. The new introduction of the new girl, which is 15 minutes, and then 30 minutes of learning about the bad guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters. There's a lot of
so that's an hour
of hopping around cities,
Mhm.
and you're in New Hampshire, and then you're in this city, and this city, and then there's moving a lot of traveling, a lot of back and forth. So a lot of exposition.
And then
going on.
the meetup, and then I mean it's just. But there are some good end scenes, the battles, and I mean it's not like super insane. It's just really normal. Honestly, it's
Yeah.
they didn't go
Well,
out.
as you mentioned, it is that it's kind of I like the expanding of that universe that they've done,
Mhm.
where the first movie you learn about these powers, but now in the second one you see more characters have it. You see what happens when people know about it and start hunting these kind of gifted people or cursed people, however you want to look at it. So it's a fun mythos that they've expanded upon.
Yeah, that I agree.
Yeah.
And the added touch of the music brings you back the old feeling. You revisit a lot of stuff from The Shining.
I will say that for me, since you mentioned that nostalgia and that revisiting of the original, it's kind of the factor that the way they're going after this nostalgia is both a boon and kind of a letdown for me, because it's first of all it's undeniably fun to see the Overlook Hotel again, to hear that music. They're taking the same music they use. You see the door with the axe cut in it and everything. So a lot of those things are revisiting the evil twin girls, all of that stuff, the woman in the bathtub, those things you obviously see in the trailer. So it's fun to see all that stuff again.
You see a lot of her in this movie.
Yeah, but so it's really cool to see that again. But at the same time, there's so much focus on that nostalgia, especially in the climax of the movie, that I almost felt like I want to see something new. I want to see something a little different, and we revisit so much.
I think that we did see a lot of new and different for
the
first hour and a half.
Yeah.
Or in the middle hour.
They sprinkle in a lot of
the powers are different. The Shining, the girl's pretty damn powerful. Mm-hmm. She's not just talking to dead people. She's powerful. So it's interesting. Another thing they introduced in The Shining is it's not just talking to dead people. Multiple people have different abilities.
Yeah, some can.
But we won't say anything more than that. But anyway, again, I enjoyed it. It was a little bit long, but I think they did a good job, and I enjoyed seeing the movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. It's the first hour and a half, as you mentioned, is kind of standalone. You don't really have had to have seen the first one or know anything about the first one. It isn't until you get. It isn't until you get to that conclusion or that the climax where, if you haven't seen the first one, you're not going to understand why they're, in certain rooms, why they're focusing on certain doorways or the bar or things like that. You won't get that.
They do manage though to kind of catch you up at the beginning though. Which you talk about that a lot. How can they just go see number 2 by themselves?
Yeah, because
and they
as for me, the movie has to stand on its own. You can't assume that everybody has seen the first movie. So,
but another thing is though, if you do see this movie, then you're going to want to go see number 1.
Yeah.
If you hadn't, so why is this? I don't get it. But it could be a standalone.
Almost.
But I think it's a great number 2, and they do kind of leave it open to be another 3 with another character.
Yeah. Well, even the tagline says the next chapter in The Shining.
Oh, well, there you
go. It's almost implying that they're planning or definitely leaving it open.
This girl could be a good number 3 too.
Yeah.
She did a good job. So we'll leave it at that. I liked it. Go see it. If you like The Shining, you'll like this, I think. And that's it for me.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me back.
I'm just gonna do a thumbs up. Oh,
2 thumbs up.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Please turn on notifications. We're seeing a lot of movies, man. I see once a week. So if you want to know some goodies, we'll let you know some of it from now on. All right. See you later. Thanks again, Joel.
Thank you.
All right.